Hi, I'm Jay, and in this video I'm going to show you how to upgrade Blender on a Mac. I'm currently running version 2.77. You can see that up here, but you can also see that if you head over to Help and click on Splash Screen, and it gives you this little preview image here, and it tells you exactly what version of Blender you're running. But I know for a fact that there's a new version of Blender in town, which is 2.78, and on blender.org it confirms it here indeed. Download Blender 2.78. So if we click on that here on the front page, then you get installers for Windows or zip file. You get a zip file for Mac, and you get a zip file or a tarball for Linux. So pick your operating system. In my case, that's a Mac, and pick your, well, what's closest to any of these mirror sites here. In my case, that's the USA, and download the file. I've already done that. It's already here in downloads. Now, right now I'm going to close down my old version of Blender, and there's something that is unique to Blender in that it doesn't overwrite your current installation when you upgrade a version. Quite the opposite, it will install it in a separate folder, and that is unusual. Other softwares just overwrite whatever's on your hard drive and you start up with a new version. But the bad thing about that approach is, of course, that you can't go back should things go wrong with the upgrade. So that is kind of clever that Blender gives you the option to revisit the old version. Maybe there are features that you're missing in the new version, maybe something isn't working in the new version. And so there we go, that's the reason why that happens. And to install the new version on a Mac, you just double click this zip file here. You can also open a Finder window and do that. And once it's unzipped, you end up with this folder here that's usually got a really long name. You can rename it, it's no problem. This is just called the same as what the archive is called. So what I tend to do is I just rename this folder and call it Blender followed by the version number. So in this case, 278. And all you do then is drag this folder containing all your Blender installation files into the applications folder on the Mac. And now I have my previous version here, Blender 277, and I've got the new version, Blender 278. And in order to open it, I need to now open it from the new folder, of course. And let me do that. There it is, blender.app. And the Mac operating system will ask you to verify that you really want to open this, because it comes from the internet and it's potentially dangerous. But we're going to trust it and say, yes, open it, please. But one strange peculiarity that happens when I open my new version of Blender is that things look very different. So it is the correct version, it's 2.78, but all my fonts are smaller, and if I move my viewport, my trackpad doesn't quite react the way it used to, it's going the other way. And so it looks like all these settings that I had meticulously set up under File and User Preferences, they seem to all be gone, and that's very disconcerting, especially if you've not come across this feature before and you think, whoa, I don't actually remember what it was that I've changed, but I've gotten so used to my version of the user interface that I really don't know how to bring it all back, and it would cost a lot of time and effort to research however you did that. And of course there's a way that you can import your old user settings over to the new version, and there is something that happened literally when I opened this. It doesn't come up when you head over to see the splash screen again. No, it does actually, my fault. When you head over to Help and click on that splash screen again, there's this option here, copy previous settings, and that's something that's often overlooked when you have a new version of Blender. And it happens on all operating systems, so this doesn't happen automatically. So hence, click this option here, copy previous settings. And now the fonts are back to the way I set it up before. My mouse or my trackpad movements are set up the way I had set them up, which is a big relief. And the way Blender works, it's a little bit like in the user settings. Whenever you change something, anything, you have to click Save User Settings so that these settings are saved. And they're saved in a file called startup.blend. And that file lives in a specific folder depending on the operating system you're using. And here's a list I've compiled of all the folders on all the operating system that Blender is available for. just in case this copy option does not appear, or you can't find it, or for whatever reason this thing doesn't work. Well, it's now gone, of course, because I've already copied the settings over. Then you can look in that folder and just copy that startup.blend file over into your new installation. So every installation has one of those folders, and the settings are saved independently depending on the version. And if you want to copy something from the older version to a newer version, just copy that file over. I hope this was helpful. I will see you next time. Bye bye.